So I've never watched Die Hard, but I'll give you this. I've watched Little Nicky at least 24 times. So is that what's the exchange rate on Die Hard to Little Nicky? Hullabaloo.
And I'm going to talk about me, myself, and my problems here for a little while.
That's not a puzzle, it's pushing blocks.
If a wave of dragons are coming to raise my town and burn my crops, that's pretty awful to me directly.
But I want to hear about your other shitty characters.
Of course, invest in a robotic Flava Flav.
This is the Debate This podcast.
Welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this podcast, we take time out of our busy adult lives to argue over important things, like comics, video games, and which Adam Sandler movie is the best one. It is definitely 100%
Rack's
Wedding
brain to think of an Adam
Yeah.
Sandler movie.
It's the Wedding Singer. I was like, what's the name? It's the Wedding Singer.
It's not. It's Happy Gilmore. You're wrong.
It's probably Little Nicky. I've seen it a couple times.
It's at least
Couple hundred.
It's at least The Wedding Singer or Happy Gilmore.
All right,
Definitely not Little Nicky. But
All right,
go
shut
on.
the fuck up. It's my turn to talk.
Starting off strong.
It's the holidays, guys. It's the holidays. It's the season of non-denominational holiday celebrations. And what better way to commemorate the holidays than gifting each other shitty knockoffs of gaming peripherals? So you know that fourth slot Mad Catz controller that you had growing up, or the one that you reserved only for the friends that you didn't like? And if you didn't, that was probably you.
You were that person.
Or maybe that imitation DDR pad, the one that only had the diagonals instead of the cardinal directions.
It was bullshit.
Well,
It ruined the game.
It was
And
bullshit.
it's a real peripheral. I've seen it.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Oh.
No, that says a lot about you.
It does. Mostly that I wasn't only a child and didn't have a lot of friends.
There it is. Well, today I've invited my very best friends to come over to my house and gift me their very best, shittiest third-party peripheral. So the panel of friends who will be disappointing me today are Todd Santa Paws Thomas, Matt Mingle all the way Cole, and Kyle Christmas with a View Harper. Boys, as someone who grew up as an only child, I never had to settle for anything that wasn't made directly by Nintendo. So help me understand what it means to have to use the guest controller. What have you brought for me today?
So, hey Andrew,
Hey,
happy non-denominational holiday, bro.
thanks, man. You too.
Well, you know that 2018 has been a really great year for so many reasons.
Arguably
And
the best.
One of the best. just high marks. So to celebrate the banner year that 2018 has been, I really wanted to get you something really special. So let's go back to simpler times. All right. So let's go
2017.
back. Not simple. Not way worse. No, let's go back to 1994. The cost of a new house was under $120,000 a year.
Ah, yes.
Netscape Navigator was on the rise as the best and most powerful web browser. And a manufacturer known as Aura Systems released what is called the Aura Interactor. Okay.
No, they didn't. No,
yeah,
they
did.
This is a lie.
So 24 years later, that's what you're getting, my man. And so this peripheral was designed mostly for Mortal Kombat 2 for the Sega Genesis. And it looks like two Xboxes strapped together like a ballistic vest, right? And so then it has a dial from 1 to 10 that controls how hard the vest would vibrate when your character took damage. So for you today, I've gotten you a life jacket of vibration and sadness to really make your games just more immersive than they've ever been before.
Everything about what you just said sounds like something a cult leader would charge a lot of money to have you use for an afternoon, and then tell you that you're now going to not heaven but whatever they call heaven in their cult.
If you want to experience God's love, you have to experience through this vibrating ballistic vest. To shorten things down, it is a backpack that will massage your kidneys when your game makes noises.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was going to get sexual today.
You have no idea.
All right. Well, I'm super excited for this one. So, Matt, why don't you show us your shitty gift?
Oh man, I don't know that it's shitty at all. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's kind of fucking cool. Have you ever wanted to play video games with your face?
Yes.
Because
Go
100 times,
on.
yes.
thanks to my gift, the Konami Laser Scope, now you can. So, the Konami Laser Scope came out also in the early 90s, a peripheral of the NES that basically replaced your Duck Hunt Zapper. Turns out that there were actually 17 licensed Nintendo games that use the Duck Hunt Zapper. I knew of 3 of them.
Wow.
So yeah, there's something that we
Oh.
all learned today. The Konami Laser Scope is if you took that zapper and put it on your head and you replace the trigger with a microphone, and instead of pulling the trigger, you just yelled fire. And every time you did that, it shot. It's great.
For those of you playing at home, I just pulled up a picture, and oh my god, this thing looks
This-
like a nightmare.
This confused woman from the 90s doesn't know what's going on.
Oh my god,
she
she's
looks
so
like she's
sad.
been assimilated by the Borg. Like it looks like a Star Trek prop with different colors.
Imagine like a really bad cosplay of an X-wing fighter, like somebody inside the X-wing. Like I feel like she's gonna start saying like Red 5 standing by.
So this was the thought I had when I first saw it. You guys all watched some amount of Dragon Ball Z at some point, right?
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
I know.
Oh,
You know
yep.
the power glasses.
yeah.
So,
Yep,
like-
that's exactly what it looks like.
If the
Yeah, it
people
is.
who directed the 1963 Avengers movies tried to costume a Dragon Ball
Yep.
Z power goggle, it would look exactly like the Konami Laser Scope. And-
Legend has it, if you yell "It's over 9,000" into this thing, it puts in the Konami code for you in every game you play.
There
Yeah.
is a 100% chance that when I make an Instagram post for this, I'm using this picture of this poor woman.
Hell yeah, you are. Hell yeah, you are. Because every article written about the laser scope uses this picture of this woman.
Because she's
And
one
there
of 10
is so
people to
confused.
ever use it.
There is also a 100% chance that if you actually gave this to me to me as a child for my birthday, you would have been the best man at my wedding.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, man. Like in 1995, 8-year-old speak, this thing is cool as shit. Like there is
Yeah.
no denying that this thing
That's
is
fucking tight.
awesome. And that's where I end my case.
Awesome. All right, Kyle, you've got some pretty disappointing shoes to fill, I guess.
Well, I've set out to prove that bad controllers were not only limited to the 90s and to the Mad Catz Corporation. So my bad controller gift to you is the GameCube keyboard controller.
Fuck you.
Which
Fuck you. I know this one. Fuck you.
This is the one
Which-
that Andrew actually wanted.
Yeah.
I chose it. Part of the reason I chose it is because I know your love of JRPG MMOs. So
And because it's an abomination.
because it's an affront to God and man. So this is a regular GameCube controller, except for the one addition of a full-sized QWERTY keyboard in the smack dab in the middle of it. Not like offset up high or down low like the Xbox chat peripheral that you can plug into the Xbox controller. It is we'll include a link to it, I'm sure,
Yeah,
but
we'll need to have some images.
it
It's-
is
imagine
about
if-
a foot and a half wide.
Yeah. Imagine if you just took an image of the GameCube controller and just click and dragged like to
Yeah.
the side.
You
and just
stretched it and photoshopped a keyboard in it.
Yep.
And that is the GameCube keyboard controller. And that is my gift to you this non-denominational holiday season.
You
I think that the
pieces of
research
shit.
the research and development team, they're like, oh, we got to put a keyboard on this. And it was like, it was Friday at like 4:30. And they're like, shit, what do we do? And they just literally chopped a GameCube controller in half and taped a full keyboard to it. They're like, man, is that
That's
good?
that's
Is
the
good?
joke a lot of times about like the Wii U pad or the Switch was that like they just took the two nunchucks and slapped them on a touchscreen And that's literally what they did. They just slapped the two halves of a GameCube controller on a regular keyboard and then shipped it out.
Yeah, this is the only Nintendo controller I've ever seen that makes the Wii U gamepad look really small and really reasonable.
Rip the Wii U.
Also, guys, before we continue, I think we need to stop shitting on Mad Catz because I just checked to see if they have an Instagram, and they do, and it says they are the preferred brand for gaming. And I don't know that we can shit on the preferred brand anymore.
Wait, does
Preferred brand as voted by Mad Catz.
Yeah.
Now,
Does Aura Systems
they're
have an
probably
Instagram?
right.
Yeah.
Does who, Todd?
Because they
Does Aura Systems,
I don't
the
know.
1994 creator of the Aura Interactor?
You guys keep doing a podcast, and I'll check.
To Mad Cat's credit, they are probably the most widely used third-party controller.
Yeah,
That's true.
100%.
They probably made a killing back when you had to spend $45 for those damn GBA cords
Oh,
to
yep.
connect
Yeah.
the link
Mhm.
cables and the ones to the
Especially
Anyway.
because as 8-year-olds, they got lost once a year.
They sure did.
Once a year. Good
and you
lord.
needed to have 3 of them. Anytime you wanted to play Pokemon, anytime you wanted to play Final Fantasy, Crystal Chronicles. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway,
All right, so let's pretend that Matt's gift isn't absolutely awesome. Pretend just for the sake of argument that it's garbage. As I'm opening your thoughtless piece of crap gift, you see the glow on my face immediately dissolve as I say, tell me why your piece of shit is actually better than the real version. Help me by turning my O into an O.
All right, so what is your favorite game, Andrew?
Final Fantasy something.
Okay, what is your favorite game that is actually a good game, Andrew?
Final Fantasy 12.
No, 7 was pretty good. So, okay. So the thing about the Aura Interactor is not that it replaces any regular controller. It's that it enhances any game. So just think about going through turn-based combat where every 5 to 10 seconds, your vest starts vibrating erratically because you've just been hit by something. You get the thrill of being punched in the chest or being kicked in the chest. What better way to enhance your ability to escape from reality in a video game than by occasionally being rocked by intense vibrations to your chest or kidneys? I realize that, video games are escapism and you want to pretend to be Cloud saving whatever it is you're doing in 7, whatever world-ending thing is happening.
The world will never know.
Yeah. So what better way to escape from your terrible life as a junior high kid than to dive into this video game and then be jolted back to the real life by, these rapid vibrations. I'm here to tell you this takes your normal gaming experience and makes it fully immersive by making sure you're never comfortable ever.
It would help to break up the monotony of just clicking X.
It also doubles as a bulletproof vest, so you can enter gunfights pretty safely now.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, if you're getting shot, you don't know if it's vibrations or actually being shot. It's fully immersive. I'm just going to keep using the phrase fully immersive.
Okay.
fully immersive? Fully immersive.
There it is, done.
So we got that haptic feedback. Matt, let's talk about your cool X-Wing helmet.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. So, first off, and I can't reiterate this enough. This thing is cool as hell. It looks really great. And this is the goddamn Dodge Viper of third-party peripherals. Does it work very well? No, probably not.
Sure.
Is it cost effective?
But hot damn, is it cool?
Absolutely not. But boy howdy, does it look sweet. So, first off, you yell at video games when you're into them. We all do
Absolutely.
it. There's not a person who plays video games regularly who doesn't yell at video games. Now, imagine being able to use those expressions productively. Now, every time someone surprises you, you don't need to fumble about the controller looking for the right shoot button. When you yell, it fires the gun. It's that easy. Resident Evil's awesome now, because every time you're like, you've already shot. no problem. You don't have to
Well,
worry
then
about.
you're out of ammo because
Well,
it's Resident Evil.
yeah, okay, so
When that's
Resident
the
Evil
game,
was
you
a bad
die.
example.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah,
Well done, Kyle.
yeah, you really you took the wind out of my sails there, Kyle. Thanks for that.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep, I appreciate it. No, I mean so that was the big thing about the laser scope, was that it didn't just work with the word fire. Anytime it heard anything in the microphone, it would shoot. But I think honestly, that's probably not a bad thing. I mean, that just means you need to watch your mouth and let yourself express your feelings about video games, and you'll be really trigger happy and win a lot of games. But none of that matters because this thing looks cool as hell. It looks so awesome.
I have to say, you lost me when you started talking about how I can control it with my voice, only because I have an Alexa and I fight with Alexa, which is like an intelligent piece of technology of today's current tech.
And
that
not a
I
hunk of
cannot
plastic
skip to
from
work.
1994.
And not a hunk of plastic from 1994. So chances are I would just have one hell of a time with this absolute piece of garbage.
Honestly, I don't think that you would have that problem, because what we're talking about here is like an intelligent piece of equipment versus a microphone. And all you've got to do is put noise into the microphone and it works. There's no commands, there's no learning, there's no shortcuts, there's no government listening into all of your conversations. Anytime you make noise, it shoots the gun. No, I mean, I don't think that the NES had enough processing power to transmit anything back to the government. I think that's why the 80s were so much fun for everybody.
That and all the Coke. But
Mostly the Coke.
50-50. Well, it's funny. I guess I didn't even think that yours is voice activated, because the Aura Interactor has nothing to do with the game it's actually connected to. It's all the vibrations react solely to the sound from the game.
Really?
So weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, I was watching a YouTube video, as I tend to do when it comes to research over something that I have no knowledge about, and they use it with. They actually pair it with the Super Scope at one point, and I think even your headset thing, Matt, because it's just like whatever, and it just keeps like going off like rapidly. It's not a good look. But I'm glad to know that, it's surprising in the mid-90s we really hadn't perfected voice recognition technology in video games.
Yeah. So, like, did any of you guys read Ready Player One? Is that just a me thing?
I saw the movie.
Well, that doesn't count. That movie was terrible.
I started it
It's
and
not
got
very
bored.
good.
No.
You can send all your hate mail to debate this on Twitter.
Debate this at debatethis.com. No, but like the whole like haptic suit thing is this big deal throughout Ready Player One, and basically the more money you have, the nicer haptic suit you get. And so I just imagine Todd pitching us the haptic suit of the slums. Like, here you go, have the loser's haptic suit. You can't afford anything better, but every time there's a big boom in the speakers, it'll rub your nipples a little bit.
That's what the poor people use in that future. It's Todd's like haptic, like only sound activated vest with Matt's voice activated headset. So they're just yelling fire and like kind of shaking every so often.
I mean,
T-posing around the world.
Can I talk about my thing now?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, please.
All right. So, Andrew, I got you this gift because I know there's two things that you just love, and it's Nintendo and JRPGs. And that is what's going to sell you the GameCube keyboard controller. You'll be able to play Phantasy Star Online and participate in the chat. You don't have to pick one now because your controller does both. And you don't have to spend the money that a gaming computer would have cost in the early 2000s because again, you've got a keyboard for your GameCube now. You can do it all. I'm really selling you the complete package, and I don't think there's a reason that this is a bad gift. I think this is actually a really good gift, and you're going to really like it.
Kyle, this is so exciting. So what you're saying is I can use the keyboard for all my GameCube games. What other games does this work with, Kyle?
It works with Phantasy Star Online.
Cool. You said that one.
And,
what else, Kyle?
And a bunch of games that were only released in Japan.
Awesome. That's so great.
You know what? I don't want to give Kyle more ammo, but it likely works with both Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and Episode 2.
That's right. That's 2 whole games.
That's
you just-
one game,
Yeah, you
really.
just doubled his argument.
But if you travel to Japan, get ready to type your way through Mother 3.
Oh no, are you serious?
No, not at all.
Because if you were, that would have sold me. Like I almost clicked on Amazon and been like, oh shit, I guess I have to buy this now.
Let me dust that GameCube out of my parents' basement, plug it back in, and hope it still works.
I think I still have mine. All right. So my birthday party is over. It's weeks later. I cried myself to sleep that night because my friends hate me and gave me crappy gifts. But for some reason, I decided that you're still my friend. So I've invited you dummies over for a sweet LAN party. We're gonna play Halo 2 all night long. We're gonna eat so many Cheetos and drink so much Mountain Dew. You walk into my house and you see 3 crisp, mint condition, just gorgeous first-party controllers plugged into the 1, 2, 3 controller ports. And then you see something out of the corner of your eye, rolled up behind the console. It's almost the same, but not quite looking the same. It's this thing covered in dust that's plugged into the fourth port. How do you avoid getting stuck with the imposter, the guest controller?
So before I answer that question, I think the scenario kind of plays out like this. Like, oh, hey, Andrew. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Matt. Oh, I'll take that last control. Hey, Andrew, is that the Aura Interactor I got you for Christmas last year? Is that
Yeah.
why is it back over there behind the it looks real dusty.
Oh, it's crazy, man. I wanted to get like the full experience, so I took it to the nearby rock quarry. Crazy, right? And
It's still got the plastic around it. What's
well, I had to protect it. I didn't want it to get damaged.
It's over there
so
sitting
nice.
with that beanbag chair that lost all its beans.
Well, all right. Okay, well, now that we've played out this fake scenario of our friendship deteriorating, so I think it's really important to know that in this scenario, it's not just the almost the same looking controller, but it's the controller that is connected to the freaking Aura Interactor, right? So I know we're about to fire up that Halo LAN party, but you know what would make this experience even better? Getting a rapid jab in the chest each time you're riddled with machine gun bullets from that Warthog bearing down on you. And I'll tell you what, if you dial the knob up to 10, and when that Warthog hits you, it'll knock you straight to the ground with a defibrillator level of vibration. Andrew, it is fully immersive.
Wow.
So
Fully immersive.
when the question was, how do you avoid using this thing? Was that just like your pitch to somebody else in the
into it.
room?
Yeah,
or is that you accepting that you are going to wear the Aura Interactor?
It's definitely the first, but it's accepting the second. I think in the same vein that I'm trying to convince everyone else to want this shitty thing,
he's trying to hype himself up to using it.
I'm also trying.
Psychology.
I'm convincing myself that it won't be so bad if I'm just incredibly uncomfortable while I'm playing video games with my friends.
No, guys, no, it's fun. You don't understand. It's cool.
I like shaking like this. It's great.
It's gonna jolt. It's gonna jolt around all that pepperoni pizza and Mountain Dew as you're sitting in your belly.
I got bruises.
It's before we even play. It's like, guys, I can't put it back on again. I can't. Please. And obviously, just unplugging it and putting it away doesn't count. That's not an option. Someone has to get in.
Do you think the box has the same safety warning when you go to Cedar Point?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It very clearly says you should not wear it if pregnant.
Yeah.
Not for expectant mothers or people with heart conditions.
Yeah.
Must be this tall to ride.
Absolutely. All right, Matt. What's your play here?
Oh,
acting like all 4 people won't be fighting over who gets to use the Konami
who gets to be freaking Wedge Antilles.
I think that the reality, if I want to play out a fake scenario like Todd did, walk into the basement. Oh, hey Andrew, hey Kyle, hey Todd. Is that the Konami laser scope there in the 4th port? Oh,
Konami brand laser scope.
Oh,
I love the idea. I know this was an accident. You said the Konami, like a fake version.
The off-brand.
It's the
of
Konami
the off-brand.
Game Sphere. Yeah. Sorry.
Is that the Konami laser scope there in the corner? Oh, I lost my voice this morning. Oh, it's flu season. I can't use voice activated things. I don't have a voice.
Oh, you serious? You sure, man? You sound pretty good right now.
Oh yeah, this is my not video game voice. It was my video game voice that I lost. I can't
Okay.
show excitement. I'm deadpan now.
Yeah.
So I can't.
I too am dead inside, so I understand.
Yeah, I'm dead inside and on the outside, and I just can't. I don't know, yelling like fire. I don't think that it would go well, and I think somebody, I don't know, Kyle likes to sing a lot. He would probably do much better with a voice controller than me. I have no voice. I can't. I honestly, I think that we're communicating telepathically. You can't really hear me right now.
I also can't take that peripheral because the bruising has gotten into my organs and it hurts to breathe.
I will absolutely 100% use the Konami laser scope.
That's the Konami laser scope to you.
My
The
apologies.
Konami laser. All right. Well, while my mom drives my other two friends to the hospital, Kyle, how do you avoid the situation of taking the guest controller?
Ooh, so that's the only one that's left there, the one with the keyboard. Look,
Yeah, if you squint, you can see it. It's hard to see, but
I mean, it's got a whole GameCube controller on it. Like, it's the same thing.
Look, I'm happy to use it, guys, but I'm not the best typer. I didn't learn much from Mavis Beacon, and I'm really not good at multitasking. So you probably don't want me to like have to type in the chat to our teammates and try to play. Like it's just gonna slow us down. So it'd probably be a lot better if someone else took on that role and I could just focus on playing, because again, I don't want to hold you guys back from the fun of Phantasy Star Online, the one game we can play with this controller.
Wow, thanks, man. You're a real team player.
I try.
And scene. Good job, guys.
the reality is you can't even like hide it. It's like 1.5 feet across. Like
It
you
has its
literally
own
gotta
drawer
hide-
in the TV cabinet.
It's
Exactly, because it's not like a regular keyboard that you can like put in between other things, because it's got the weird GameCube control handles on the
It's
side.
like someone has given you a full size skateboard and is like, "Hey, hide this with the rest of your video game stuff." And you're like, "You mean the cabinet where I put the CDs?" That cabinet.
I almost picked the Tony Hawk Ride board.
I also looked at the Tony Hawk Ride board.
Shit. I forgot all about that.
I forgot
So
all
did
about Tony
everyone.
Hawk.
No, I had never seen the GameCube keyboard controller until today, but there is an 85 to 90% chance that it was sold with a dock, but not a dock that does anything, just like a stand to display.
So you have a place to put it later.
Yeah.
We will absolutely do more of these. Not just a sequel, but a series, because there are just so many good ones. But for now, let's kind of shift gears a little bit. I want you to get in a different headspace. So I want you all to take off your child hats and put on your marketing executive hats. Pretend you're the marketing executive for the company that created your piece of shit peripheral. Walk me through the ad or the campaign or just the message that you're going to spearhead that will trick millions and millions of grandmas into buying your product by mistake.
Oh, I would love to. Do you love your grandchildren? Give them the real gaming experience of feeling the intense sensation of being kicked in the chest. For the low price of $165,1994, you can give them a vest that hugs them just like your own loving arms while shaking them violently during their vidya games. Get them up. Get them active. Get them a life jacket filled with jolts of vibrations and love. Each time little Timmy does a Fortnite, he can be reminded of who his favorite grandmother is through repeated and unwanted vibrations. All through the Aura Interactor, brought to you by Aura Systems.
Todd, you didn't say fully immersive.
And this
You left
fully-
out your tagline.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
Okay.
I
I would buy it based on that ad campaign.
mean, yeah. I mean, it's fully immersive.
If I can help little Timmy do a Fortnite, I am there.
That was one of my favorite things to do at my family's Thanksgiving this year.
Was a Fortnite?
A Fortnite?
All three of my nephews play Fortnite. So to say things like when one of them got their phone out, be like, "Oh, is that a Fortnite?" Like,
All right, Matt, what's your pitch?
All right, listen here, Granny. Video games cause violence. Pushing a button is just like pulling a trigger.
Oh, no.
First-person shooters are gateway drugs to jail. Now, we all know you'll never be able to stop your grandkids from playing these terrible video games and these awful first-person shooters. That bitch of a daughter-in-law that your son married, she'll always let her kids play the violent games. Lucky for you.
Matt bought ad time on Fox News.
I know the target. Lucky for you, we can retrain your grandchild's reflexes this holiday season. They'll never learn how to shoot a gun if you make them think that words are the best ways to win fights. This controller can only be controlled with words. No buttons, no triggers, just words. Consume Konami.
What the fuck is consume Konami?
I
don't
like to
know.
think as you said that, the screen
So
just kept
good.
getting redder.
Yeah,
and
right?
Like it just kept zooming in on like a gun.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a very
1984.
obvious not video game gun.
I mean, like, and again, I ran into the same issue as, like, this thing looks cool as hell, and it's hard to market things to grandparents that look cool as hell to kids. It's just, like, how are you supposed to say, look, Grandma, this is an amazing helmet you can put on your grandson. Now, let's take this another way. This will stop your kid from going to jail and being violent.
Yeah. No, I like the direction you went with it.
Yeah.
It was a little
it was
dark,
good.
but I think it was appropriate.
Yeah.
It was
Hey,
really the-
fear
you gotta
mongering
cut
gets you somewhere.
you got to cut through the noise
Yeah.
for sure.
And I actually read a quote that said first-person shooters are a gateway drug to jail. I don't remember where that quote is from, but it was a real quote.
Was
It's
it,
But
was
it's now
it,
tattooed on Matt's back.
Nice. All right, Kyle. Why don't you lighten the mood a little bit?
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Do the grandkids never call?
Nope.
I finally figured out what that newfangled email fad is. Don't know what a Pokemon is? Well, your grandkids do, and that's why they're too busy to call. Get them the GameCube keyboard controller, and they'll be able to send you all the electronic messages you want without missing a single beat in the action.
I like thinking that instead of electronic messages, it's electronic mails. Like that's what the word is, and they're like, "Ooh, I love the electronic mails. I send them forwards all the time."
I like that you took this in a similar direction. It was pretty sad. But I'm vibing. I'm vibing on what you're putting down.
This is also kind of a weird question for me to answer. Sorry to cut in on your time, Kyle, but
Go ahead.
my grandma had an N64 at her house before we had one at ours, and so
She knew it was up.
yeah, right. My grandma was a little ahead of the game as far as the video games go.
Grandma's woke.
Right?
I specifically remember the year that we all got the old Game Boys, like the gray brick sepia ones.
Yeah.
I very specifically remember my grandmother saying, "Oh, now we can play these while we're in the bathroom." Like the fact of like texting while pooping was born back in like 92. So that grandmothers get it.
Grandmas know.
Oh, yeah.
Grandma's got to poop.
Grandma's got to
Grandma's
poop.
got to poop.
Oh, is this an episode of Do It Poop?
I think it might be. Do it.
All
Poop.
right,
God.
everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is Do It Poop. Matt, I just have one question for you today. Grandmas, do it poop?
I am not sure, and I might have to do some research, but my gut leads me to believe that grandmas do poop.
See, that's a fun ongoing joke for like 5 of our episodes. If people
All right.
haven't caught those 5 episodes, they're like, "The fuck?"
Listeners, that has been Do It Poop, where we learned today grandmas do poop. Tune in next week.
Okay, that was a fun distraction.
It was.
Anyway,
I had a
let's
lot
get
of
back
fun.
to the podcast instead of the podcast within a podcast. All right, so let's move on to the super secret bonus question. Now, it's the holidays, guys. Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. So instead of fighting
But only men.
goodwill
Ooh.
towards
Oh.
okay.
Matt
Um,
Cole does not hold the views of the entire group.
Yeah.
No, I don't
There's a
hold
good
those views at
disclaimer
all. That was just the quote. Damn it.
Yep. So instead of fighting, we're gonna get along this week. And I just want to get a little story time. So why don't you go around and tell us about a time that you were tricked into buying something because it was, quote, just the same, but it definitely wasn't.
Oh man, are we limiting this to like times we were bamboozled with video games, or just
Doesn't have to be.
bamboozled in general?
Just
It doesn't have to be.
any
It's-
bamboozle.
It's Christmas, and there are plenty of bamboozled shoppers out there.
I'm trying to think of the last time that I got swindled by a snake oil salesman.
I know I really fell for Coney 2012.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't buy anything because I was broke, but I was very upset that I was broke and couldn't buy anything because I bought that hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Sent it to teachers at my high school, like, you guys need to tell the students about this. This is real. And like, it was bad, guys.
So Andrew and I were in college when that happened, and like,
So was I.
yeah, well, yeah,
No,
I guess we all
that
were.
was-
We
that
were
was
out
20
of college at
I
that
That was
point.
wasn't.
2012, yeah.
No.
Yeah. So nope, not Matt.
I was
Matt
in
was
high
like
school.
10.
So I think the kicker of that story was that the guy who was like pushing for all the awareness in the United States got caught naked, drunk, and masturbating in the streets. Like,
Yeah.
I'll
He had a
tell
mental
ya,
breakdown
a fitting end.
a few short weeks afterwards. And
That's gonna take the winds out of your sail right there. Man, as far as like times that I've bought into something, I mean, I could say that I jumped in on Bitcoin way too late. I was one of those people.
Oh.
I bought high and I held, and now I'm just sad. That's been a cryptocurrency. Could have been a thing that changed a lot of people's lives. Not Todd's.
Yeah.
Disposable income just left.
I'm sure I've been like sold and written under the table more than once, and I know I've bought a lot of stupid shit in my day. But the most recent one that I can think of off the top of my head, so like I've always been a bit of a collector of video games,
Fallout
especially
67,
like
Fallout 76.
I love Fallout
Yeah.
76. Shut up, the internet's wrong.
No, I mean I could talk about ARMS and how no one plays that anymore if you want, but so I've always been a bit of a collector of like retro Nintendo games, and last year realized that somehow I never ended up with a single copy of Mario Party. Like not a single Mario Party. And all of my roommates wanted to play Mario Party. So I was like, I'm sure I can find one for cheap somewhere. There are 9 of them at this point, so I'm sure that one of them will be cheap enough. This was before 10 came out. So
Nothing holds its value like first party Nintendo games.
you're goddamn right. Holy hell.
Yeah.
So I went to the used game store, and of course, everything is $50, if not more. I was like, this is no, I'm not doing this. So I went
Yes, you
to
are.
my my secondary source, truly the crack, the porn addiction, the heroin, the everything. It's Facebook Marketplace. I'm addicted to Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, well, I'm sure I can find a copy of Mario Party on Facebook Marketplace somewhere. So I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, and there it is. Mario Party, $15. I'm like, sweet. Message the lady. Doesn't speak a lot of English. That's okay. She speaks $15 in Mario Party, and that's all I need her to understand. So I sent her a message, and I said, hey, I need your game, and I have $15. Can we exchange those two things and go our separate ways? And she said, sure. And I said, what do you have with this game? Do I need any, like, she was like, nope, works great. And I was like, okay. And she was like, can you use GameCube controllers with it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, awesome. So I went and I picked up the game and I brought back a copy of Mario Party 7, which is the bad one, I know. But I put it into my
I was hungry and jonesing for a fix.
I put it into my Wii with all of my roommates sitting on the couch and our pizzas that we had cooked in front of us and the chips that we had bought in front of us and the beers that we had bought in front of us.
Oh
ready
man, you
for
didn't try it out before the big unveiling, did you?
Oh no, even worse, I did. It worked great. Unfortunately, you can only play Mario Party 7 with Wiimotes. You know how many Wiimotes I have? One. So I now own a Mario Party I can't play unless anybody wants to donate to the all my Wiimotes are in a different state fund.
You don't like single Mario Party's single player mode?
I was an only child and I didn't have a lot of friends, and that's why I never had Mario Party. So no, I'm not a fan.
So Matt's story of being the victim of Facebook Marketplace has shaken something within me and reminded me of the time that I too. Well, Matt wasn't really swindled. You just didn't like.
I just didn't read.
I think that one was more. Yeah, that was you.
Oh, I know. It was my fault.
But so one time I was looking for a new flat screen TV, and so again went to the seediest place on earth, Facebook Marketplace, and there was this woman who actually I take that back. It was a man named Bob and the reason why I said woman, we'll get there. And so it was Bob something, and his profile picture was just a Steelers helmet. So like Bob gets the internet. Good job, Bob.
This is starting like some of the creepy pastas we were reading.
I'm 90% sure Todd's gonna wake up in a bathtub
without a kidney.
Without a kidney.
Yeah. So to make a very long story short, Bob had said that he had bought his family new phones, and with the deal, they got this free flat screen. They didn't need it, and so I was like, okay, cool. And so they were selling it like pretty cheap. It was like $150, $200 for this huge flat screen. And I was like, all right, like this is Stellar's LED like flat screen TV. So I drive 2 towns over, show up at this like sketchy address in this like sketchy part of town. And there's these 2 women standing outside of this house smoking. And like I walk up and I'm like, I'm looking for Bob. And like the one woman looks at the other woman, and the other woman goes, "Oh, no, that's just a fake name I use on the internet because people are weird on the internet." And I go, "Oh, good." And I go, "Well, I'm Todd."
Fully unaware that she is now one of those weird people on the internet.
Well, I'm like, well, I'm Todd, and I'm here for the TV. She goes, "Oh yeah, here it is, like in the box, still wrapped, like looks fine." And so I'll preface the rest of the story by saying I'm an idiot, and I believe that people are good in the world, and I was taught wrong that day. So like I give her the money, and I walk off with this TV in this beautiful box, unopened, and like it looked reputable. Like they had other TVs set up in the garage where they watch TV out in the garage. Like it looked fine. Got home, took it out. Everything looked fine. Set it up, plugged it in. Screen was cracked, and So I immediately send this woman via this Bob profile a like picture of it and say, "Hey, this is broken. Like, what's up?" And she goes, "Oh, that's strange. It shouldn't be." And I go, "Yeah, it shouldn't. Like, I need to get it back to you." And to save you a lot of time, over the next like 3 weeks, she just dodged my messages. As I ultimately she blocked me via that Bob profile. I remembered her name, so I found her real profile and sent her a message and was like, "Hey, you sold me a broken TV, woman whose name actually isn't Bob, who lives in Bucyrus, Ohio. Like, I would like at least part of my money back because this is an issue." And actually, at one point, I had contacted the LG like company and said, "Hey, this TV came from this promotion, it's broken," and they were going to help me replace it. They just needed to know like the receipt from the phones she bought, and they would have replaced the TV. And she gave me nothing. She sent me a Facebook message and was like, "I don't know why you didn't just like get a hold of me immediately when it happened. I think you're trying to swindle me. I'm blocking you." So, woman who goes by the alias of Bob, who sells shit in Bucyrus, Ohio, you're the worst. And karma's gonna get you. And that's
Merry
how
Christmas,
I was
Bob.
That's how I was swindled in 2015 or 16 or whatever.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
I'm in a dark place now.
I'm feeling a little more sad for Todd.
My vibrating vest again.
Well, why don't we end today's discussion with some closing statements?
Yeah, I would love to. So, the future is now in 1994. When given the option to experience gaming in a new dimension, the vibration dimension, this is your obvious choice.
I don't.
Shut it down. Podcast over.
Andrew, this is your obvious choice in vibration technology. when it comes to gaming
Not
vibration, I'm not
I want
done.
Todd
I'm
to
gonna,
stop saying vibration.
I'm gonna say vibration a lot more. When it comes to gaming vibration technology that isn't the N64 Rumble Pack or the PlayStation DualShock controller, this is the apex of technology, and that apex is called the Aura Interactor. And you know why it is the best, Andrew?
Why is that, Todd?
Because it's fully immersive. Fully immersive vibration technology all over your body.
All right, Matt.
Wait, I didn't even get to tell you how loud it is.
No, no, we're good. We
Wait,
get
no,
it.
I'm curious.
It's
Do the
immersive.
neighbors hear you vibrating?
If you dial it up to 11, I mean, break off the it if we're real though, it is terribly loud. Like
Oh,
the
no.
YouTube
Like
video that I
rattle?
watched, it is just
Yeah.
unpleasant.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So like shaking a can of screws every time it goes off.
Well, and it's like the vibration is obviously vibrations, but I think the noise it makes is so loud and terrible that there's that glass of water shaking over to the side, kind of like Jurassic Park. It's just the whole thing's unpleasant. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea.
Okay, that was
It was
That's fair.
it was a booming economy. They had
Well,
there
like
was money to go around.
1994 was a weird time. I think that was the year that OJ did his like Bronco escape down the freeway. Like weird shit happened in the 90s.
It sure did.
I feel like OJ and the Bronco was later than 94.
Nope.
Well, if only we had a way to know about
No.
things that happened.
No, it
in
was
the
94 because my mom talks about how she watched the news coverage while she was home from work, pregnant with my brother. So
Oh, okay. You can always judge timeline by the pregnancy of mothers.
that's a weird way to date things, but okay.
Who was
It's all right.
inside me in 94?
Oh God.
no,
Cool,
No.
Matt.
Don't-
Please,
don't
closing
do
statement,
that.
please, right now. No, don't do it now.
Yeah.
Please now.
Okay, so I can't reiterate this enough. But in 1994, in 2018, in 2035, the Konami laser scope looks cool as hell. Period. Dot the end. This thing is cool as shit. It's efficient. You yell at games. Now you shoot when you yell. You look like the coolest kid in the neighborhood. And you don't need friends to play with this peripheral. Not that you really need friends to play with any of the other peripherals, but we were both only children, and I know we can connect on that. This is cool if you're in your room alone. This is cool if you're in your room with friends. This is cool. Consume Konami.
I'm imagining Konami spelled with an umlaut. And
For the record, I think my fully immersive, innovative vibration technology is also cool if you're playing it by yourself.
I think that's
Stop.
cool in a very different kind of way.
Oh well, I wasn't going to
I-
specify.
all right, so there were the early 2000s. There were a lot of kids who really wanted that MMO experience. World of Warcraft was the biggest it's ever been, but not all these kids had a fancy gaming computer that could handle that. But a lot of kids did have a GameCube, so they could get that immersive MMO experience there. I took your word, Todd.
Oh.
Immersive's mine now. Could get that MMO experience on your GameCube with the GameCube keyboard controller. You can chat to your party and play your Phantasy Star Online without missing a beat. GameCube keyboard controller.
Fully immersive.
Fully
Vibration.
immersive.
Fully immersive.
Entering the vibration dimension.
That's actually part of the major plot in the next Avengers movie.
Avengers 4,
The-
enter the vibration.
The vibration realm.
All right. Well, knowing
Todd
with that
forgot to
said-
mention that he watched the first event. He watched Avengers 4 on Pornhub and actually watched the parody of it.
The hot Avengers. All right,
No.
I'm gonna go. Whoops, I'm gonna go take these terrible arguments and these garbage gifts and throw them in the trash, and then I'm gonna crank out the debate this algorithm by measuring crunching debate this numbers. Yes.
No holiday
No?
metaphor? Come on.
No.
I was thinking of baking the
Deck the
debate
halls
this
with
Christmas
disappointing
cookies.
friend gifts.
Yeah, chestnuts, roasting the debate this chestnuts on an open debate this fire. Does that work?
There
That's
it
pretty
is.
good. Yeah, that
Alright,
feels.
I
We
guess.
got back. We got back there.
We're there. We're there.
All right,
tell
take
me-
two.
tell me what-
Let's go.
Gotta
Tell
stay
me
on
what you liked
brand.
about everyone else. Tell me what you liked about everyone else's shitty gifts.
Yeah. So Matt, it's really funny. Like when I was doing my research for this one, the person was playing with that helmet on. Like I had
Yeah.
not seen it, and then I saw your picture. I'm like, of course. What else do you add to this already shitty peripheral? More shitty peripherals. I've never seen that in real life. So you know it's bad. Like you know it's a bad peripheral if you've never actually seen it. But I loved so badly that you brought it up because I think in some really weird way there's probably a game out there that if this worked well it'd be a lot of fun. And the fact that you can now play video games by yelling means that I can now play video games with my angry grandfather. So that's pretty cool.
Nintendo had a lot of games on the DS where like yelling into the mic
Yep.
was
Yeah.
a mechanic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this thing did not die in 1994.
Nintendo's been pioneering yelling technology for over 20 years.
Dude, you want to talk about yelling technology? Come on now. Hey, you Pikachu exists?
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And the only other game I can really think about that had any sort of like vocal interaction on the regular anytime in the 2000s would be Seaman on the Dreamcast, where you could like talk to that weird fish thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't actually.
I don't either.
We're gonna have Andrew. Do you know about Seaman?
I know what you're talking about.
We're gonna have-
Todd, I know about semen.
We're gonna find out how to play a ROM of this, and it's gonna be a live stream because that game was weird as shit. But anyway, Matt, I liked your
You're
peripheral.
kidding.
I
The
thought
game
it was
called
neat.
Seaman was weird.
Kyle, your peripheral shouldn't have been invented. Someone like joked, and then like it was like a room full of, like I said, R&D guys got together and started joking about how funny it would be, but then no one like ended the joke. And so they ended up with a controller with just a full QWERTY keyboard. And the thing
You can buy used ones online for about $240 today.
The funniest thing about it is like I played the shit out of Phantasy Star Online. That's probably the first game that I put 200 hours of my life into. And I can actually see how this would work if you were playing online, but like the keyboard's so big, you'd have to like hold it and then like set it down on your lap to type a bit and then pick the controller back up.
Find some videos of people using it, because that's what they do. Like, but
Yeah.
it's a keyboard, so it sits on your lap fine. And it's apparently a perfectly fine GameCube controller. Like, it doesn't lag. The buttons all work and are responsive. So
and the best part about yours too is like if you're gonna play Phantasy Star online via the GameCube, you're already going to some extreme lengths because the GameCube was not made to go online initially. You had to buy like that extra adapter.
yeah,
and then
I was just gonna say you had to spend
You'd
an
have a whole
extra
setup.
$50 to $100 to
Yeah, like Kirby's
get
Air
online.
Ride was the first game I think to go online or something around there. And so to think that if you were doing all of this, you were the richest 8th grader to ever exist. So I can respect the game that is non-conventional peripherals, and yours is so terrible it's so good.
Thank you.
So Todd, I really like your peripheral. It's
It's so bad.
hilarious. And like, so when you had posted yours, I Googled it to see what else came up. And it turns out that the Aura Interactor is actually the first entrance on the official Wikipedia haptic suit page.
Nice.
A solid 13 years before the next thing that qualifies as a haptic suit, which
All
was
right.
the third space vest. All reports saying was also not very good. So this thing was chronically mediocre 13 years before anything else managed to be chronically
Trailblazer
mediocre.
is
Yeah.
the
You
know,
word you're looking for.
If you're the only one running the race, you automatically win.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter how bad it was for 13 years. This was the best fully immersive peripheral that you could own.
Fully immersive.
And I think that's pretty cool. And Kyle, I mean, I'm not here to play scoreboard or anything, but if you can both play the game and communicate with other players on the same device without needing a phone, your GameCube controller can do more than Nintendo Switch Online, and that says something.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a burn.
Well,
All right.
this will be our last episode now that Nintendo is going to tank our podcast.
They're gonna murder our families.
All right. Well, I've baked the. I'm sorry.
Kyle
hold
still
on.
has to say
I've got
more
some
nice
good
things.
vibes to spread around.
Please spread that cheer.
So for both of you, those are both like devices that would be great today with like current technology that just came out way before the technology was there to make them any good. Like a haptic suit in theory would be really cool if like when you're playing a first person shooter, it like kind of gets you a little bit. And Matt, I want to like visit the universe where the Konami laser scope took off, and there are now like esports competitions where people are like looking around rooms and yelling to shoot each other, and it's the most insane thing in the world. Because like, you're right, to an 8-year-old, that helmet is the best thing ever. Like to an 8-year-old in the 90s, that would have been the coolest thing in the world, especially if it like legitimately worked, like as far as the like pointing the scope at the screen goes.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Now we can decide who wins.
I was just gonna say, imagine the look as happy as that 8-year-old kid is on Christmas morning to open that. Imagine the look on Dad's face. Grandma is like, "Thanks, Grandma." Yeah, thanks, Grandma.
It's the same look every parent has when their kid opens like the fake musical instrument that just plays the same annoying 3 songs over and over again.
Yeah.
Because you just bought your kid a toy to yell "Fire! Fire! Fire!" for 4 hours a night. Like,
I thought you were gonna say it's the same face that parents make when their kids bring home a recorder.
That
like-
too.
Yeah, it's the same face either way.
same face all around.
Yeah.
All 3 situations, it's the same look.
All right. Well, I have just finished hanging the Debate This stockings. See? I just finished putting up the Debate This Christmas tree, or holiday tree.
Wow.
There it is.
Non-denominational holiday.
Non-denominational holiday
Yikes.
tree. Thanks. So as we exit the vibration dimension, I'm gonna go and sorry, just had to do one more.
If Enter the Vibration Dimension isn't the name of this podcast, I'm fucking out.
It absolutely will be. So I will give my ruling. Matt, your helmet is cool as hell, man.
Thanks, man.
I think my favorite part about this is that it's not yelling a word. It's just yelling.
Yeah, right?
So like, yeah, because that's what it devolves into. Like I can imagine like, you know, first thing like opening that bad boy up and being like fire, like getting really into it, and then like we all did with the Wii, like where like when you play Skyward Sword, you're like really into it, and then you just like devolve into just like lazily
Like
wagging,
sitting on the
I just,
couch and like flicking
sitting
your
on my
wrist.
chair, just like this is the most laziest way possible. Just real quick, everybody, consume Konami.
Konami is now the official fake video game brand of the podcast.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna evaluate something on being a useless piece of nonsense, I cannot give it to Matt, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Kyle, on the other hand, you did definitely bring forth a useless piece of nonsense. However, it does serve exactly one purpose. Not 2, but
Playing
1
Fantasy Star Online on GameCube.
albeit incredibly poorly. Fuck, man, that was it. That's a really good one. It's just a stretched ass.
It's so bad looking.
I'm even the logistics of trying to use that monstrosity. Like you can't. I mean, you're chatting in an MMO, so you can't do it while you're battling anyway. So it, like I guess I can like kind of ride along for a while, but
What's so funny about it is like the GameCube was designed to be the one system that had a handle and was compact and could be carried anywhere.
Yeah.
And now you've got a controller that's 3 times the size of it.
Yeah, right. The logistics of like carrying that bad boy, like you can't fit it in a backpack or anything. It needs its own carrying case, like a guitar. So that leaves us to Todd,
Yeah, top of the pile of shit.
the trashiest of the trash. My boy, holy
bad.
shit! The haptic feedback vest, a piece of garbage that has never and will never serve one legitimate purpose. You, my friend, are today's winner.
What? So like, and again, we've been talking about like how someone devolves from like yelling fire to just like grunting aggressively. The kid that started out by playing this was like, yeah, this is so cool, and finally they're like, why do I have this on? It's not good.
Yeah, I can't imagine like at the most like that the heightened sense of like that just like Christmas glow. Like I cannot imagine having fun with this for more than 5 minutes.
I was just gonna say, like, you might use this thing for a week to try and convince yourself that it's cool, but like the end of those 7 days, you are never touching that thing again. Like it is, and probably the same thing for any like full body haptic suit. It's fun once, and then you're like, all right. It's not worth putting on every time I want to play a game. I've only got an hour to play today. I'm not going to spend 15 minutes of that strapping myself into a harness.
And it really only worked with like Mortal Kombat 2. And back in '94, they spent $5 million advertising it.
Oh my god.
way.
That's a lot of money in 1992.
Wow. It's a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Wow. Well, on that note, rampant consumerism, swindling grandmothers and swindling consumers of all ages. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. And thank you for listening in to Debate This. You all can follow along with the argument on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Debate This Cast. Or you can check out our website at, what is it, Matt?
DebateThisCast.com.
Attaboy. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review. It really does help, so more people can hear our dumb show. And until next week, my name is Andrew Henderson.
I'm Todd Santa Paws Thomas.
I'm Matt Consume Konami Cole.
And I'm Kyle. Netflix really wants me to watch The Christmas Chronicles, Harper.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us by the swing sets, nerds.